Hello everybody. Welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. In this video, I've recorded a situation where you may find yourself when traveling in an English-speaking country. Before we start, remember that you can download the full A1 audio file and follow along with the video so you can train your listening skills by clicking the link in the description below. You can also find the full written transcript there. Okay, let's get started. You arrive at the airport and it's time to check in for your flight. Checking in is when you give your luggage to the airline and get your boarding pass, which is your flight ticket. The airline will take your luggage if you have a case or a suitcase and put a tag on it. If you don't have any luggage, you just go straight to getting your boarding pass. After checking in, you need to find your gate. The gate is where you enter the plane. It usually has a number and a letter. You should look at your boarding pass because it tells you which gate to go to. Sometimes the gate changes, so you should check on a screen to see if there are any updates. In some airports, gates are close to each other, but in bigger airports you might need to walk quite far, or even take a shuttle bus to get to your gate. Some airports are huge. They have lots of shops, restaurants, and things to see, so be careful you don't miss your flight. When you get to the gate you wait for the plane, you should listen for announcements because sometimes they say things like, "Attention passengers on Flight 420 to Paris, please be ready to board." When it's time to board, you show your passport and your boarding pass to the air hostess or the flight attendant. After that, you can go onto the plane. Before you get onto the plane, you pass through security. First, you put all your big electrical things like laptops, phones, and iPads in a plastic tray. Then you put them through a scanner. Then you walk through a body scanner, but it doesn't hurt. You then collect your things and you're ready to get onto the plane, but you have to take out your liquids bag. All the liquid containers must be 100 milliliters or less, and they all have to fit into a clear plastic bag. The most common liquids are shampoo, toothpaste, creams, gels, water, soda, and juice. Now you're ready to board the plane. But before you sit down, you should stow your hand luggage in the space above your seat. You can put it in the overhead bin or the luggage rack. When the plane takes off, there isn't much room in the overhead bins, so you should put your carry-on luggage under the seat in front of you. There are pockets in the seat in front where you can put smaller bags and electronics. On some airlines, you get a magazine and sometimes a free newspaper, and if you're lucky, you get a free meal. When you get onto the plane, you may meet people from around the world, so if you want to chat, you can talk to them. Most planes have Wi-Fi these days, so you can watch movies, listen to music, play games, and work online. When the plane lands, you have to wait a little bit until you can get off the plane. It's called disembarking. Once you can get off the plane, you go to baggage claim to collect your luggage. Your luggage has a label on it with your name and destination. Look for the right belt. All the suitcases come out on different belts. You then take your luggage, and you go through the next check, which is customs. When you get to customs, you go through a green or red door. If you're a citizen of one of these countries, you use the green door. If you're a citizen of another country, you use the red door. If you have nothing to declare, you can use the green door. If you have questions, you can ask the nice officers. They help you with anything you don't understand. If you're visiting a new country, you have to go through immigration. At immigration, you show your passport and fill out a form. The officer checks your passport and stamps it. That means you're allowed to visit the country for tourism or business. They ask you questions to make sure you don't have any problems during your trip. They ask, where are you from? Where are you staying? And how long will you stay in the country? Sometimes you have to put your fingerprints and take a photo for a new document. This is for the government to keep track of who is in the country. This process can take a long time, so be patient. Once you get through immigration, you can go to get your luggage. You have to go through 2 places before you get your luggage. These places are called checkpoints. When you get to the end, you can finally collect your luggage. When you're waiting for your luggage, you need to be careful because someone could take it by mistake. Always have your eyes on your suitcases. When you see a suitcase that looks like yours, don't pick it up. Make sure it's really yours. Once you have all your luggage, you can leave the airport. If you have a layover, you have to go through the same steps again. A layover is when you have to wait for your next flight. When you land at the airport, you wait in the transit area until you board your next plane. You don't get to go outside the airport. To go through immigration, you must have a transit visa. You don't have to collect your luggage and you don't have to go through customs. If you have a connection in an airport, you usually have to change terminals. So you need to go through security again. You then go to the gate and wait for your next flight. So you arrive at your destination. Maybe you're going on holiday. Maybe you're moving to a new city, or maybe you're going to visit friends. You're going to spend some time in a place. When you plan a trip, you must make an accommodation reservation or booking. A reservation means you make an arrangement with a hotel or guest house. You book your room in advance so you know you'll have somewhere to sleep. There are many places to stay. You can stay at a hotel, a hostel, a guest house, or a bed and breakfast. A hostel is a cheap place to stay. It's usually for backpackers. People stay in rooms with other people. A guest house or a bed and breakfast is a small place. It's often run by a family. It's a nice place to stay. It feels like a home away from home. At a hotel, you must check in when you arrive. You go to the reception and say, "I have a reservation. My name is," and they give you a key card and you can go to your room. When you leave, you check out. You give back your key card and you pay the bill. You must pay for the room and everything you had there. It's important to make a reservation. If you don't, you may not have anywhere to stay. So call the hotel or use the internet to make a reservation. The internet is easy. You just click a few buttons and you can make a reservation at any hotel in the world. When you arrive at a hotel, you should think about what you want to do. You can relax, take a nap, or have a drink at the bar. Some hotels have pools, spas, and fitness centers. You can go swimming or have a massage. You can also use the internet for free. Almost every hotel has Wi-Fi. You can also order food in your room. This is called room service. You don't have to leave your room to eat. You can watch TV, make phone calls, and listen to music. You're in a new place and you want to explore, see the sights, and experience new things. To do that, you need transport. Transport is the way we move people and things. We use bikes, cars, buses, trains, taxis, and planes. Let's look at tickets. A ticket is something you buy to travel. You buy a bus ticket, a train ticket, or a plane ticket. You can buy a return ticket or a round-trip ticket. That means you buy a ticket for there and back. You can also buy a single ticket or a one-way ticket. That's a ticket for one direction only. Here are some ways to move around a city. You can take public transport like the tube or the subway, the tram, the bus, or the train. You can also take a taxi. A taxi is a car that you can hire. You share the taxi with other people going in the same direction. Sometimes you can hail a taxi on the street. If you see one driving past, you can raise your hand and the driver may stop. Taxis are expensive, but they're convenient. If you want a taxi, you can stand on the side of the road and wait for one. You can also use a taxi app on your phone and they'll send a car to your location. There are apps for public transport too. They tell you when the bus or the train is coming and how long you have to wait. They're useful. Sometimes you want to go out, but you don't want to spend a lot of money. If you don't have a lot of money, you can go to a takeaway. A takeaway is a place where you can buy food to go. You can get burgers, pizza, fried chicken, rice, and chips. In Britain, takeaways are called takeaways, and in America, they're called takeouts. Takeaways are good for eating quickly, but they aren't healthy. The best thing you can do in a new city is try the local food. If you go to Italy, try the pizza. If you go to India, try the curry. If you go to France, try the croissants. You should try everything. It's fun. If you don't like fast food, you can go to a restaurant. Restaurants serve hot meals and sometimes you can sit outside and enjoy the view. If you go to a restaurant, you must pay for your meal. You get a bill in Britain or a check in America. In Britain, you can also order a starter. A starter is a small dish you eat before the main meal. In America, they call it an appetizer. Most starters are soup or salad. When you go to a restaurant, you should order the main course. The main course is the big meal of the day. You should always order the national specialty of the place you're visiting. If you're in Japan, order sushi. If you're in Mexico, order tacos. And after your meal, you can order dessert. Dessert is a sweet dish like ice cream or cake. In Britain, we call it pudding. But only some restaurants serve it. Sometimes you're in a strange place and you have a problem. If you're in a strange place and you have a problem, you need to find a police station. You can ask a policeman or woman where the nearest one is and they'll point you in the right direction. The police can help you if you lose your passport, if someone steals your things, or if you have a fight with someone. If you're ill or you hurt yourself, you need to go to a hospital. You can ask someone where the nearest one is. If you're very ill or if it's an emergency, you call the emergency number. In Britain, you call 999. In the European Union, you call 112. In the United States, you call 911. If you're in a foreign country and you need help, you can go to the nearest embassy or consulate. An embassy is a building where diplomats live and work. It's the place where you can get help. If you're in the United States and you need help, you go to the British Embassy. If you're in Britain and you need help, you go to the American consulate. Let's learn some British slang words for travelers. Cheers means thank you or goodbye. You can say cheers, mate, to your friend. To ask if your friend wants something, you can say fancy a cuppa. Cuppa means tea. Loo is the toilet. If you want to go to the loo, you can ask, where's the nearest toilet? If you're tired, you're knackered. I'm so knackered. Let's take a break. If you're pleased or happy, you can say, I'm chuffed. If something looks or seems suspicious or not reliable, you can say, that's dodgy. If something is excellent, you can say, that's brilliant. Queue is a line of people waiting their turn. Can I join the queue, please? If you're surprised or shocked, you can say, I'm gobsmacked. A brolly is an umbrella. Do you have a brolly? It's going to rain soon. Rubbish means trash. This magazine is rubbish, let's throw it away. Or it means nonsense. That's rubbish, I didn't do it. If someone is very attractive, you can say she's fit. If something is not cool, you can say that's naff. So now you know a lot of essential travel vocabulary. Remember, you can download the full A1 audio file and follow along with the video, so you can train your listening skills by clicking the link in the description below. You can also find the full written transcript there. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my next video. I'll see you next time. Bye.